Good morning. Welcome to Mind the Moment's Thursday morning's meditation session, brought to you by Harvard Pilgrim Healthcare and Tufts Health Plan. I'm Greg Topakian, filling in for Tara Healy, who's on vacation and who I know is looking forward to being with you next week. But as for myself, it's always thrilling for me to be here on Mind the Moment, to have this opportunity to practice with you and to explore in very real and practical ways how mindfulness can help us live our life. That's what it's all about. So, as we usually do, uh, we begin with a question in the chat. For many of us, we're often living in our heads and we find ourselves lost in our own stories about how the world works. And when you notice that, how do you return to seeing life as it actually is? How do you help yourself come back to seeing clearly what is actually present? Because here we are, stopping to do meditation. That helps. Now, what type of meditation? What brings us back? But here we are, and please continue typing in. We're here on Thursday mornings. We're making time for this. We've decided to walk this path of mindfulness, some of us for a number of years, others perhaps a little newer. And so, what does that mean? We've got our mindfulness hiking clothes on. What does that mean when we're on this mindfulness path? I think it means that we're inviting our body to relax, to settle down. And then, with a body that's relaxed and settled down, to invite the mind to do the same, to relax, settle down, hopefully, to, when it settles down, to be able to focus, to see clearly, and maybe even taste a little peace. So I see some responses. Connect the body with movement, music, grounding in nature, beautiful. Sitting with a cup of tea or walking alone in nature. I sometimes count backwards in my head to get a brain pour, absolutely. Trying to synchronize mind and body, grounding exercises, love it. Because I think we all know how important it is to try to see clearly what's actually happening around us. I think often that there's two fundamental questions in mindfulness. The first is, how is it right now? What's happening right now? What's happening in this mind and body? What sensations? What thoughts? What emotions? And how about right around us? What's happening for others? What's happening in the world? Can we see that clearly? That's the first question. And then the second question has to do with what's sometimes called mindfulness with clear comprehension, which simply means what would help right now? What's appropriate? Given what I see, what would help me to be more effective in this moment? What would help me to help promote wellness in myself and others? So it's seeing clearly and then having a capacity to choose how to respond to the moment in a way that is most in line with our values. Now, we're human beings. Sometimes we're still going to react in old habitual ways, But certainly the first part of our challenge is to try to see clearly what's in front of us. And then to tap into, okay, if I can act according to what's really important to me, what's appropriate right now? What would help? And here's the good news. The good news is that we can all do this. I know there's lots of people in the world and maybe even out there yourself thinks, I'm just not a meditation person. I'm not suited for this. But here's what the science tells us, that this isn't a gene or DNA that some of us have and others don't. These are skills that all of us can learn to cultivate. We can all do this. But guess what? It will take a little practice. We have to train the mind to look and to see what's really happening around us and in us, and to explore within what would really be the most effective thing to do, the most appropriate thing to do. But again, the good news is that we can all do this. It's a natural human capacity. But the thing is we forget, don't we? We get lost in these stories. We get lost in exclusively just living up here in the brain, thinking mode. I mean, there are good reasons for that. I mean, this human brain, as it's developed over the last several thousand years, can do truly amazing things. We all know that. Planning, solving, imagining, remembering, solving. And it's not to say there's not a role for that. We know there is, right? I mean, we have responsibilities in the world to take care of ourselves, to take care of our families, people that matter to us, to make a contribution. It's important to be able to do these things. But here's the question. Do we have the capacity to choose when we're going to be in thinking mode, planning mode, solving mode? Or are we going to live up here all the time without a choice? Do we get to choose? And I think the key first step in getting to choose is noticing, where is the mind right now? Is it in thinking, solving, lost in one's own story mode? Or can it relax? Can it be open to receiving information from all the senses of the body and not just the thoughts of the mind, but all the senses? What we see, what we hear, what we smell, what we touch, what we taste. Can we be receptive to that? I think we all know, and the science confirms there's lots of benefits to that. When we notice, when we notice and pay attention to the body, to the senses, we're more apt to actually listen to, recognize signals that the body and the emotional system, the nervous system is giving us about what's maybe hurting in this moment, what our emotions are, what impulses we're likely to speak or act on. Very important. Noticing these signals helps us to be more present when we're with other people. And simply put, it gives us more opportunities to appreciate all the beauty that there is in the world. We're not just stuck up here. We're actually seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting things. So how do we do that? So we're going to engage in a few practices uh, this morning in the next 15 minutes, and they all have a common theme. And that theme is to notice when, with our body and the senses, we're making contact with the world, and what sensations are arising because of that contact, whether it's pleasant or not, and to also notice when it is that the mind is beginning to butt in and wanting to take over. And to notice that and smile and to say, I see you, and to come back to the senses. Come back to what the body is telling us. Come back to what our ears are hearing, our eyes are seeing, our nose is smelling. Just to help ground us, come into the present moment. After all, mindfulness of the body is called the first foundation of mindfulness. Okay, so let's start. So first off, I'll invite you to come into a comfortable position for yourself. Most of us are probably sitting. You could be standing or lying down. Posture doesn't matter so much. But whatever posture you're in, to check in, how are you holding your body? Can you offer relaxation to the body? Can you experiment with small micro movements? See, how is it that you can sit that helps to settle the body down? That helps to find that fine line between relaxation and effort. We want to be awake, so we want to offer some effort to this. So the back is relatively straight. Maybe we notice we can relax the shoulders down, bob the head forward and back, turn it gently right and left. And here's the thing, I suspect for most of us, when we do this, we feel stuff. We feel sensations in the body. That's our gateway to the present moment. Noticing what's actually happening right now. So the first meditation exercise that I'll offer to you in the spirit of helping us when we're stuck in our minds, lost in thought, stuck in our own stories, and we notice, how do we come back? First simple meditation is called hand meditation. Hand, this thing. And first I'd like to invite you to find where your hands are making contact with the body. For many of you, probably hands just resting on your knees or thighs, the lap. So first off, you notice that contact. And now I'll invite you to notice sensations and to draw your attention there. Maybe you stretch your fingers out to exaggerate the sensations a little bit, help drawing attention there. I'll invite you to feel the inner hand, the bones and muscles embedded in the hand. To feel the flesh of the hand, maybe to apply more pressure to the hands as they're resting on your knees or thighs and feeling the pressure in the flesh of your hand. Noticing the skin of the hand. Is it warm, cold, dry? If you rub your hands on your pant leg, you feel that friction on the surface of the hand, the skin. And then with the fingers stretched as wide and long as they can go, let attention go there fully. It's like your attention is in your hands right now. That's where the knowing is happening. And maybe to make a fist. So to clench those fingers into a fist. Maybe rotate those fists around the wrist. Little simple things. So you're noticing all these sensations, noticing if it's pleasant or unpleasant. Notice if the mind is trying to butt in. Oh, this is crazy. Oh, this is so simple. I could do this when I'm stuck in a meeting and my mind is drifting off. Okay, next exercise. Foot meditation. So now we're going to do the same thing with our feet. So first off, I'm going to invite you to notice how your feet make contact with the floor beneath you. Maybe you have socks on, maybe not, slippers or shoes, but still you're feeling contact of your feet with something solid. Maybe you push into your feet to help exaggerate that sensation, to help your attention go there. And just like we did with hands, I'd like you to feel the inner foot, the bones and muscles embedded in your feet. And then the flesh of the foot as you push your feet into the floor, feeling the different sensations in the flesh, the ball of the feet, the heel of the feet, the sole of the feet. Feel the surface of the feet, the skin, hot, cool, dry, moist, cramped. Again, a simple exercise we can tap into no matter where we are, waiting in line at the grocery store, stuck on hold on the telephone when we call customer service, wherever we are, noticing hands, noticing feet. And a third meditation exercise, again, very basic, very simple, very accessible, coming back to the five senses, cycling through. So first off, I'll invite you to direct your attention to your ears and hearing. Excuse me. Are there sounds arising for you? Are they external sounds, like cars driving by, or the heat coming on or not, or someone at your home or in the office walking around? Or is it internal sound, a buzz in the head? You're only noticing now, stomach gurgling. Is it loud? Is it soft? Is it smooth? Is it choppy? And then turning attention to another sense organ, in this case, the nose and smelling. Are there any lingering aromas, odors that the nose and nostrils are coming into contact with? If you're in a room with the door shut, away from a microwave or a kitchen perhaps, there is no particular aroma or smell. So what does that feel like? What does that smell like? For some animals, the dominant sense is smell. Now turning to the taste sense organ, the mouth, the tongue. Any lingering tastes from breakfast? Simply, what does it feel like to have the tongue touch the teeth or the roof of the mouth? Or the touching sense organ, tactile sensations. What does it feel like just simply being in the sitting mode? Your butt on the seat of the chair, your hands in the lap, touching, taking an index finger of one hand and touching the palm of another hand. How delicate, how sensitive. But to even notice, we have to be present for it. We have to be receptive to the information coming to us from the sense organs. So these are three simple grounding exercises that help bring us back to other modes of being other than thinking mode, solving mode, planning mode, that help us to see clearly what's really happening in this moment and what would help. Hopefully, you're hearing the sound of the bell. And if you're willing to share a little bit about the experience of coming back to the senses in the chat. You all enjoy reading and learning from your experience. Otherwise, how can we still stay focused? Just come out of meditation. Nancy says, I feel so relaxed that I'm ready for a nap. Great to be relaxed. And when we feel relaxed, right, we're often inclined to want to take a nap. And so the question is, do we need one? Maybe we didn't sleep well last night and we have the time to take a nap. But maybe we don't. Maybe we have things to do. And so what's appropriate, what we need to do to be effective is to appreciate the relaxation, but maybe to stand up or maybe to raise our arms by our side, right? Something to arouse the energy in the body. So there's not so much rights or wrongs here as it is noticing. Relaxation is helpful. Simple things to do. Yeah, right. These are the things, right? We want we want to learn how to access reminders to help us come back to the present moment that we can do anywhere. Yeah, it really is. They really are simple things, right? The thing about mindfulness is it's not about escaping from life into some fantasy world. It's really about what can we do to be more present in this moment. And here's the thing, and sometimes they're called the miracle. These are the miracles of mindfulness. We can be in a situation where we notice we're lost in thought, storytelling, fantasy world. Say we're with someone and they're talking and we're off somewhere else. And then we notice and we come back. And then we're really present. And you know what? The other person really notices that. You can see them. There's even a little smile. They're back. You're listening to them. That's a miracle of mindfulness, making that moment special with that other person. Even now, as we're sitting, which sense organ is the predominant one for you? Hearing, seeing, smelling, tasting, touching, cycling through. So we'll close with this. Here's the question. If we think that if we've understood something in this session this morning, how do we maintain that momentum? How do we continue to realize the benefits of mindfulness practice? And there's always a simple answer to that. Two things. First, we have to decide to practice mindfulness. It really is about practicing skills. And the second is when we forget to come back to practice, not to judge or criticize ourselves. So in the next 30 seconds, I'll invite you to go inward and just to contemplate the benefits to you and to those around you of training the mind to be more present in each moment. How might it help you live your life? Just a short contemplation, and we'll close with that. So may you be well. May you find time to practice. May you remember the benefits of practice. And in this challenging week ahead, may you find some peace. So take care. Look forward to practicing with you another time. Thank you.